live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Miq Strawn. Hello.
Let's not do that again.
What's the feedback?
We've got some feedback for the people that made this movie.
Yeah, some feedback. I got your feedback right here. I'll tell you. There's feedback my ass. We could feedback my ass, actually. So.
Did you know I almost glued my wedding ring to my finger today by accident?
Yeah? Did you use Zap-A-Gap to do it?
No, I was trying to glue my glasses, and I didn't realize that I had some glue right here.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it was stuck to the other finger. Both fingers were stuck together, and then the wedding ring was stuck to my... And I was like... I washed it just in time before it, like...
Did you see me using the Zip Kick and Zap-A-Gap on the baseball bat?
Story time.
It's story time with Miq.
Story time with Miq. Story time with Miq. Story time with Miq. Story time with Miq.
Or
no.
were you still
No,
around
I wasn't
then?
there. That was...
Oh, you weren't there? Oh.
No.
Well, that was amazing. I'm telling you, the thing is this is... Okay, so a baseball bat is broken in half, right? And you would think... Now, I've always used Zip Kick and Zap-A-Gap ever since I first got in the film business because it's model maker's glue. Because it sets immediately.
Yeah.
I mean immediately. Not like what is the instant glue called?
Elmer's glue?
No, instant glue.
Instant.
What is
Crazy
it called?
glue?
Crazy glue, right?
That's kind of what I was using.
Yeah.
Except for mine was like a different brand.
Except for this has a kicker, and it's called Zip Kick and Zap-A-Gap. And the two of them together instantly harden. I mean, you can take a block of wood like this, and you can spray one component on the wood, put some of the Zap-A-Gap on the other, and you go like this, literally like this. You go boom, and you pick up the other one. Right.
It's that quick.
Right, it's that quick.
Wow.
So I did a baseball bat, like the broken baseball bat, you know?
Yeah.
No, I had taken the glue. I had actually bought some out here. It's very hard. It's hard to find. It's a hobbyist, you know, like people who make real nerd hobbyists, right? Use it. And so I picked some up and I took it back in with me. And we had to do the shot where the bat breaks. But we had already cut the bat, so that it was in two pieces, right?
Yeah.
So now we had to go back in continuity, and we actually had to do what we did was we had to hit a pipe, right? So that we could...
I know what you're talking about.
You know the shot that I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
So literally, I go, well, we're going to just do it with Zip Kick and Zap-A-Gap. And they're standing around going, well, what do you mean? And I go, well... And the shot is coming up. Like literally, they've got it lit and everything is okay. We're ready for the bat, and so I set the bat down. I went boop, 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 and I handed it to the guy to hit the pipe with, right? And he dented the pipe with it before it broke. Before it broke,
wow.
He dented the pipe with it. I mean, literally like a 1/4 of an inch dent on the side of that, like a 4-inch pipe. I was surprised. I was like, man. And he was doing full swings. We went back in for another take, and he dented the pipe again about 2 inches away. And I was like, oh, well, at least we know that's where the camera was focused, because it was like a little egg. So the second time he had to hit the X, right?
Right.
And he put the dent right on the X. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
I was just, I remember that we used to glue models together, and there was this thing that would happen that when you hit it with the Zap-A-Gap, when you hit it, it's catalytic. I can't think of the name of the glue, but cyanoacrylic or cyanoacrylate, and the Zip Kicker kicks it like instantly, right? But the trade-off, right, is in heat. So it's a chemical reaction has an instant heat of like, I think it goes up to about 600 pounds or 600 degrees in its reaction, right? Only for a flash of time.
Wow.
So what you would end up doing is you would end up, you would like be making this model and you'd be going along and you get into a rhythm of it, right? Blah, 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 and you're assembling. Next thing you know is you'd accidentally have your finger just in the spot and have a little glue on the end of it and kick it with the zip kicker.
Ooh.
And for just and here's the thing, and there's a problem with it. The problem is that you didn't just cook yourself because you did, right? The problem is that you're glued to the model. And the model represents several days of your work, right? and if you like jerk your finger away like this, there's a really good chance that you're going to send this miniature all the way across the room and crush it. So what you have to learn to do is you just kind of go, just hold your hand there, and you hold your hand there until it cools back off. Which brings me to another story.
Story time. Story time. It's story time with Miq. 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 Story time with Miq.
That's I was making a boat for this stupid film called Tales of Gold.
Ooh.
And Tales of Gold was about the gold hunter guy that found all the coins. I can't think of what his name was. But he found all these gold coins, and they were making a movie of the week years ago about it, right? And I was at Peter Chesney's shop, and I was building the model of the boat that we were going to film, right? And at the end of the day, and I had a couple model makers working with me, and I was running his shop at the time. And so one of the chores was at the end of the day, you had to go around and you had to like make sure stuff was full that would have to be full, and you'd have to do an inventory of the glues, and you'd have to go through and you would have to take these big containers of cyanoacrylic and the Zap-Gac, and you'd have to fill up the containers, right? And so I got a phone call came through when I was halfway through it, and I had to go into the next room to take the phone call. Back in the days when you had to do things like that.
Right.
Right.
It was attached to the wall.
That was attached to the wall. And so I then came back, and I got confused, and I had already poured half of the glue into one of the bottles.
This is already a great story.
I had already pulled half the glue into one of the bottles, and I filled it up the rest of the way with Zap-Gap. Now, and that's the instantly my hand got incredibly hot, and I tried to drop it, but here's the problem: it popped like popcorn. The reaction went bang, and it expanded. Under the heat, expanded and wrapped itself around my hand. Oh, wow. And I was like,
It's like a blob.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know, I'm like, And so I go out by the faucet. And here's the problem is my hand looked like an enormous piece of popcorn, right? Enormous. You couldn't even see my hand underneath it, and it was burning at about a bazillion degrees. I mean, bazillion as in the technical term, bazillion degrees. And so I turned on the faucet outside and I ran my hand underneath the cool water, but it didn't do any good because it was completely wrapped around this. And so the only thing I could think of doing was I slammed my hand against the wall, right? Super hard. I slammed it once, it didn't do anything. I slammed it twice, and it's like the popcorn split. It split, and literally one piece fell off this way, one piece fell off that way, but I was still holding the jar in my hand, and it puffed up again and went boom. And I was like, oh God, you know, and now it was like a whole new wave of heat coming through. And so finally, and I popped it, and it did the same thing again. And finally I picked up a piece of wood and I hit my hand against the wall. It split it. And then I got the piece of wood and I flicked the jar off of my hand. And then I drove to the hospital.
Wow, how bad was your hand burn?
A 2nd-degree burns all the way across.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like one enormous blister. Yeah,
But that'd be one hell of a video. Somebody recorded that.
Yeah, you know what? There were times.
Maybe sped up a little bit.
Back in the day.
With some music on it.
See, now I'm almost convinced, though, that back in the day, we did so much wacky stuff. Because we had to do it practically.
Yeah.
Just having a camera up, just watching any special effects lab would have been just hilarious. Because I just can't remember. I remember one time I had this it's a tent they kind of put around, for welding.
Right,
it's called a flash tent.
Oh, yeah.
It's yellow, right? And I was lathing something one time, and of course, we would do anything whether we knew how to do it or not.
Oh, yeah.
And we had great equipment to do it with, so it didn't matter. And I remember putting a square chunk into a lathe. Utterly square chunk of steel.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, because I'd done it with wood, right? Steel, what possible difference could it make? It was
It's
steel,
a little harder.
right?
It's not that much harder.
And I reached out and I got the tool out there. And as I was putting the tool next to it, I went, wait a minute. This is a wood tool. Just as I thought that, it caught the edge of that thing spinning, and it flicked the tool back, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. And in the morning, somebody came in on the next crew, came in and found it like this big wooden chisel that got the like poked right behind the door, right into the cabinet behind the door, right? And then he follows it. He follows it, and he finds that there's a hole right in the curtain. Right between the lathe and the wall, right in the curtain, there was a hole that was just like a 2-inch slit.
Well, that could have been through you, so.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea why I'm alive. There is absolutely no good reason for it. I'm not kidding. I had a friend of mine one time. We were going down the road. We were probably both in our mid-50s or something like that.
So it's like, what, 5 years ago?
5 years ago, something 5 years plus. And we were going down the road in this truck, and I turned around, and we had like one of those joking things where you say that thing that you say that's like, I can't believe I'm still alive. And he turns to me and he goes, yeah, I can't believe you're still alive either. And I was like, dude, that was an expression. He goes, no. He says, no, I've been around you. I cannot believe that you're alive. So I'm still alive. And you know what I did recently? Just recently, just today, just a few minutes ago, I went to see a really, really bad movie.
And you probably wished you weren't alive.
That's right. Well, it wasn't that bad, but it was...
The Curse of La
The
Llorona.
Curse of La Llorona.
You have to say
La Llorona. Yeah, that was...
Ignoring the eerie warning of troubled mother suspecting a child endangerment, a social worker and her own small kids are soon drawn into a frightening supernatural realm.
There we go. That was it.
Exactly.
We're done.
Yeah.
What do you rate it?
Yeah, okay.
So this was... they recycled the outfit from the Nun?
Annabelle. The Nun.
Yeah.
Annabelle,
And they tried to copy Nosferatu in some cases, but didn't really succeed.
And I think that this has got some kind of connection with Annabelle. And,
yeah. James Wan was involved as a producer. Yeah, I know that. But I thought it was confusing that like New Line Cinema was involved too.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, because it sure felt like one of those the Blumhouse things.
Yes.
It really did.
It felt like that to me too. But I'm just looking up the writers and don't see 5 feet apart. Okay.
I really like Linda Cardellini.
So they're new writers, pretty much. I mean,
yeah. Well, keep whacking at it.
Look
guys.
at that, look at that list right there.
5 feet apart.
Wow. So these are pretty new writers for this one.
Yes, they are. 5 feet apart. That's a romance.
And the director. Oh, The Conjuring 3.
Conjuring 3.
Okay. But yeah, they've kind of all had like they're fairly new.
Yeah.
They're fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh meat.
Massacre Lake. Yeah.
So anyway, I felt like that. It felt
Yeah, it did feel. It felt like it had been done. And you know what was weird is the pacing of it. The pacing of it was really strange.
It was
because
weird.
It went on for a lot. It quickly gathered head of steam. Was moving forward pretty briskly, and then it just took a huge dump.
It reminded me of when my brother was learning how to drive a clutch.
Right.
It was like,
yeah.
And all of a sudden it would just die.
Yeah, moments of sheer
And then
terror.
it would take a while to.
Moments of long periods of quiet interspersed by moments of sheer terror. That's that. But this had built up till about halfway through the movie, and then all of a sudden the other guy gets involved.
Yeah.
You know, not
It's like two separate movies.
It's surprise. You know, it's the second priest, right?
It seems like they're trying to follow the Exorcist kind of format.
Right. It was you know the priest, and then there's the bad guy priest. You know, the bad guy priest that wears his
the badass, the one that rides up on a motorcycle.
He wears his cross without
a get rid of this demon bitch.
Yeah.
But Linda Cara, I have to say that I love her. And
Cardellini, I love her. Linda.
She was great in this is an old show, but I mean, Freaks and Geeks was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
That's when I discovered her.
But she's playing the mother in a lot of this kind of
Well, she's
stuff.
the right age now.
Yeah, she's the right age, and she's very good at it. I mean,
she looks good in retro outfits too.
She does. She does.
She pulls it off.
Yeah, she does.
And then the guy that played the priest, Raymond Cruz, I think I've only remember him seeing it like as a gangster.
Raymond Cruz was not doing that good of a job here.
That's where I felt like
look at his career, because he's done some really funny stuff before too.
But did you notice it kind of the movie changed at that point where he came into the scene?
Yeah, it died.
And it died.
It died, but I don't think it was his fault, really. I think it was it was not his fault. It was more the fault of
Breaking
of
Bad
directing.
is like
Breaking
I
Bad.
remember that for sure. But he's in
My Name is
stuff.
Earl. He was great in My Name is Earl.
Better Call Saul. Yeah.
But the thing is he's got that gangster role, and he's and I don't know what he was doing in this priest role.
He had too many lines for. No, I mean,
well, he was playing exposition.
As a gangster, he didn't have a lot of lines.
Right.
This movie, he had a ton of lines.
Right,
and
it was
flat.
very, very flat.
Well, he was like one of the first lines I remember when they got him to come to the house. He was like, "We have to go to your house. We must hurry."
Yeah, I know. It was like melodrama light. They did have an East German.
You know those old movies with the.
Yeah.
What am I trying to think of? Lone Ranger.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was trying to think
he
of.
Could have.
It kind of sounded like that.
Yeah,
that's how his delivery was. It was like, Tonto.
It was Tonto. Yeah, Tonto.
That's a horrible,
I had
horrible comparison.
Such a great point. I was just going to.
Sorry, I ruined it with Tonto.
You ruined it.
And it was a bad comparison too. Anyway,
the worst.
These kids are pretty good.
The worst.
So I think
kids were okay, you know.
I didn't really enjoy this that much. I was like, I can't wait till this is over at some point.
I thought that
I was not scared by the
Well, she was an East German. The thing is I think that she's with one of the works program for East German women athletics that need work now.
You know what? I was wondering what Dolph Lundgren.
She was enormous. Yeah,
what he's been up to since Creed 2 or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
They just put a dress on him.
Dwight,
act scary.
Dwayne The Rock's cousin. She was built.
Yeah,
I mean, like a football player built.
And there was one move. Hands out. Ah!
Yeah,
basically the only
that's
thing
right.
she could do.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no range. I like my killers to have a little bit of range.
Exactly. You know, and then there was that part where you
hand
could
burning,
see
yeah.
the hand burning was
Yeah.
that was her thing.
That was her signature move.
That was her move. All she had
That was
that.
like her skyhook. That was like
at one point, and it didn't seem like for the most part she did stuff that was like very dangerous.
She was good at being creepy and coming out of nowhere, like.
And she sounded like a bowling ball a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thump 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 thump.
Thump 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 thump. Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't a horror movie. It was just kind of this creepy lady keeps coming out and doing stuff. And
yeah.
But there was some interesting things happening with a mother that was in there that made it a little bit more interesting.
I just liked
for
the
about
mother.
2 seconds.
I mean, I just liked the mother. I thought the kids were. I think that you have a much better view of the kids than I did. I thought they were both terrible.
Well, I guess I've seen some movies where the kids are just awful. So
what I do like though. Well, where they're talking about the river and they use the words the river, and the river was like the only river that you get in LA, which is when you dam up a little bit of water from your from the water tanker and kind of push it along.
Just gonna make it go.
Yeah. It was I'm sure that it was almost 6 inches deep and maybe 3/4, maybe 5 feet wide. And it's funny. One of the lines in the film is then she just threw herself in, and I thought, I'd like to see that.
I was thinking that too. I was like, how would she throw herself in that puddle that we just saw?
That's exactly what I thought. I thought, oh, I really want to see her throw herself because
they had to say, "Let's move quick. We don't have much water. Come on, guys."
Yeah, I'm sure somebody did. Yeah, it's like, oh, danger's gonna run out. Damn it! I made those rivers before. Think of.
I would line it with plastic to make it last longer.
Yeah, but it's a river. Yeah, that's the
you
problem.
Can't cover it up with put plastic and then dirt on top of it.
I've done it both ways. I've become an expert on it.
I don't know. Just I'm not an expert.
Yeah, Grey Knights. Remember Grey Knights? Yeah, Grey Knights had a lot of that. A lot of that river. A lot of that 3 foot wide river. Yeah.
It was all shot in the director's backyard?
Pretty much. Well, the thing is look we saw the LA River there, which is the only alternative, which is the LA River, and it's nothing but a sea of concrete, as you can see. So, I mean, the point is that
so recognizable,
yeah, and totally recognizable, and
and a New York City cab,
and a New York City cab. That was pretty funny. Those were never in LA, never.
There weren't any really special effects. I'm trying to think of things that were interesting. There was really nothing there.
No,
there was some digital stuff that, I don't know.
Yeah, the end part. That's you know what. I'm actually hating this film more and more as the more you think about it. Yeah,
well, I'm trying to find something nice to say about it.
I'm getting down to like 1.9 as things are going.
I would give Linda.
Yeah,
I'd give her a really high rating.
I like her a lot. Yeah.
I'd give her like a 10, just because I like her.
Yeah, just because I like her, but. The film overall?
So out of 5, I should say I give her a 5. But
I would bring something up. Yeah. Not only did it stink, but it stunk in there because just 2 seats over, they were having like a Chinese food dinner.
I was wondering what that smell was.
It was awful. And the thing is I think I was closer to it than you because I got the vinegar, the strong waft of vinegar going with the rest of it. So what's that from?
I don't know. Maybe that was BO mixed in with the Chinese food.
It's possible. Could have been.
Rice vinegar.
It's a pretty heady little brew, I tell you that. A heady little brew.
I thought that was you. I was like, wow, he needs to take a shower.
Yeah.
He hasn't showered since the Vengeance started shooting.
That would be bad. That would be very, very bad.
I just remember how dirty I was every night. Like, just my pants were just caked. I was like, how did I get mud all over my pants?
You know what always used to get me the worst on sets is you're on your feet for so long that there's a compression factor that makes it that when you put your feet up after that, they're never comfortable. They're never in. They're never. You're constantly moving them around and trying to make them comfortable for a half an hour or so.
Yeah.
It's because you've compressed them in places and literally you've damaged them, and they're just coming back to life.
My whole body was compressed because when I got in my car, I had to readjust I was 3 inches shorter.
You were 3 inches
by the
shorter.
end of every night.
I was going to say something about that. Okay, I think that this...
Yeah, we're done.
This sucker's...
I think I give it a 1.7. I'm not very generous tonight.
Boy, you really aren't.
No,
I mean, I was at 1.9. I mean, come on.
I wasn't that excited about this one.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're done.
If it was like 2 hours shorter, I would have liked it. Yep. Anyway.
I think it was a minute 50. It was an hour 50.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.